Brilliance Audio presents Grim Expectations by K.W. Jeter, performed by Michael Page. Often have I thought that undertakers are the happiest of men. The opportunity to endure one's life over again is a dire prospect, but were it to happen, I might well choose the mortuarial trade in preference to that which I inherited. My father animated that which had been inert, cogged brass and ribboned spirals of baser metal, that I might lay the once alive into their coffins and then to mouldy earth would complete the Ouroboros circle he and I shared. "Mr. Dower," a voice dark in timbre, spoke close to my ear. "Everything is to your satisfaction, I trust?" The man seemed born to follow behind crepe-decked hearses, skeletal fingers reverently spidered tip to tip. The very caricature of his calling, such was the one who, bending forward in the church aisle, peered at me. My words knotted in my throat. "She is dead, you heartless, mummering bastard!" Unspoken, but cried out in silence. How satisfied was I expected to be? "All is quite—" My own hands clenched to fists in my lap, where they had been folded atop my frayed gloves. "Pleasing." Lifelong cowardice overwhelmed the newly minted rage and grief in my heart. "Your concern and your services are appreciated." He smiled, thus again my conviction as to the cheer of undertakers. Who else smiles at funerals? That which marches toward us, however we avert our eyes and thoughts, its measured tread inevitable and invincible, to that corvine breed it is equally certain, but heart-lifting as the clatter of coins dropped in a merchant's cash-box. Of course, I hated the man. And I might even have demonstrated as much, at last, despite the reserve characteristic of our English breed. The scent of him summoned my gorge into my throat. As this person's kind was wont to do, an attempt had been made to mask the acrid scent of those embalming fluids which had over time seeped into his greying flesh, with that musty lavender reminiscent of old ladies' parlours. Better had he not. The combination of chemical and ancient flower was nearly as appalling, or perhaps even more so, than his obsequious manner. If I had brought my whitened knuckles hard upon his invasive nose, the blow might have been launched by not just anger, but the need to draw an unencumbered breath into my lungs. The appearance of an angel, bobbing just beyond the other's hunched shoulders, forestalled such an attack. Cherub, technically. I knew that much. The lack of Christian instruction in my long-fled youth was filled instead by acquaintance with the paintings of those old masters viewed in museum galleries. Often have I gazed upon scenes of saints and their Saviour, and noted the depiction about them of fluttering, chubbish creatures much like that which now hovered closer by. "Wondrous little thing, is it not?" Pride sounded in the undertaker's voice as he glanced behind and above himself, eyes avidly gleaming at that which I had just spotted. "I do hope you find them to your liking, Mr. Dower. They are but recently acquired. This occasion, and a very sorry one it is, I assure you, is their, shall we say, inaugural flight." I was not as entranced by the device as he was. If he had set out to prod me toward either murder or suicide, he could not have more efficiently done so. Indeed, it is distinctive. Of course, I could scarcely have said that such an apparition was unprecedented in my experience. The curse that had seemingly been laid upon me in the cradle was that in manhood I would encounter a dismayingly numerous assortment of machinery, the clacking gears of which propelled their aping of human form and motion, or angelic, as in this particular case. Glass eyes have peered into mine, as if they could see as well as those of fleshly creatures. Steel-hinged jaws have parted and clapped together again, the leathery bellows in the chests below forcing air past throats strung with violin gut, emitting words which I must admit were often wiser than mine. Thus our contrivances surpass our own weaker kind. I take some sullen comfort in the awareness that my encounters along these lines were but the forewarning of that general misery which all mankind might suffer beneath some day.